Sometimes people will say, well, the reason I don't believe in Jesus is just because he was just another man. You claim he was God. No, I just believe he was another man. And I often wonder about that, and one of the ways I address that is simply by asking this. How would you know about a person like Julius Caesar? I had to read Caesar's Gallic Wars in high school in the original Latin, right? Gaul is divided into three parts. I think that's how it starts. It's still etched in my brain. But how would you even learn of a person like Julius Caesar? Well, isn't it simply that you would rely and trust in the historical record? Well, how would you learn about the person of Jesus Christ? Wouldn't you also rely on and trust the historical record? Well, what you need to understand is we have far more historical records of Jesus walking on this earth than Julius Caesar. Thousands more. And they're more reliable because even some of the older copies we have, they're closer to the original. There's about 900 to 1,000 years between the original time when Caesar's Gallic Wars were written and the first copy we have. There's long, hundreds of years between that. With Jesus, the gospel accounts, there's maybe 20, 30, 40 years at the most. So we have thousands of copies and pieces of copy that tell us Jesus walked on this earth. But the historical account tells us Jesus just didn't walk on this earth, but he was God himself. Unlike Julius Caesar, who was certainly just a man, the historical account says Jesus was a man who walked on this earth, but he was God in the flesh. And maybe the reason your friend who asked you that question is saying that is he's not honest or isn't willing to be honest, that maybe his skepticism is based on a bias toward the supernatural. So when people say, hey, Jesus was just a man, I always ask them, well, why do you believe that? And what does that mean? And have you ever considered what historians say, and the historical record tells us that the followers of Jesus, the eyewitnesses, believed him to be? Make sure you don't let your bias play into you finding the truth about Jesus. Hey, thanks for the question.